So good morning, Doc. Good morning, classmates. Together with Ms. Katrina Guevara, we will be reporting about project management. So the course intended learning outcomes. After finishing this chapter, we should be able to, number one, state the importance of project management, have an overview of the important systems plan, and explain how to manage project risks. So project management may seem like a simple term used to describe the management of a project from start to finish. Technically, that is what it is. However, most projects seem to be complex and will need effective planning, execution, and closeout. Project management is the practice of initiating, planning, executing, controlling, and closing the work of a team to achieve specific goals and meet specific success criteria at the specified time. Basically, its main goal is to ensure that everyone in a project knows what needs to be done, when it should be completed, and ensure all resources are provided. In nearly every business, implementing a new information system either takes substantially longer than expected or costs far more than expected. Developing a brand new system takes meticulous preparation and administration. And the process by which the project is carried out is one of the most important factors in determining its ultimate success or failure. Success or failure in managing information systems initiatives is heavily dependent on knowing what those factors are. So runaway projects and system failure. So how badly are projects managed? Private division projects typically underestimate their costs and timelines by 50% in order to complete the entire system stated in the system plan. Many projects are delivered without the necessary technical and functional components. A consulting company that tracks IT project success rates is called the Standish Group. They discovered that only 29% of all technology investments were completed on schedule, under budget, with all the intended items and features. So between 30 and 40% of all software projects are runaway projects, which vastly exceed budget and scheduled projections and perform suboptimally. The way non-technical business users must interact with the system may be overly convoluted and unnecessary. It's possible to design a system with a poor user interface and poor user interface design. The user interface is the crucial component of a system that end users interact with. For instance, a data entry screen or online form may be so poorly designed that nobody wants to transmit data through it or complete it out. Customers or users may have trouble understanding the outcomes of systems when they are displayed. So without effective management, a system development project is more likely to encounter the following issues. Number one, the cost that vastly exceed budgets. Number two, it can have unexpected time slippage. And number three, technical performance that is less than expected. And number four, there is a failure to obtain anticipated benefits. If a website's pages are messy and hard to navigate, if users can't find the information they're looking for quickly, or if it takes too long for the page to load on the user's computer, visitors may be less likely to look around further. So what are the consequences of poor project management? So without proper management, a systems development project takes longer to complete and most often exceeds the allocated budget. The resulting information system most likely is technically inferior and may not be able to demonstrate any benefits to the organization. Great ideas for systems often flounder on the rocks of implementation. The systems created by unsuccessful information initiatives are frequently not used as intended or are not used at all. In order for those systems to function, users frequently have to create parallel manual systems. Non-technical business customers may find the system's interface to be overly difficult and discouraging. A system's user interface could be poorly designed. User interact with the user interface, which is a component of the system. An online input form or data entry screen, for instance, can be so awkwardly set up that nobody wants to provide data or ask for information. It's possible for system outputs to be shown in an intuitive format. So what is the project management objectives? Let us define first what is project. A project is a planned series of relative activities for achieving a specific business objective. Information systems projects might involve creating new systems, improving current ones, or upgrading or replacing the organization's information technology infrastructure. Project management refers to the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to achieve specific targets within specified budget and time constraints. Planning the work, evaluating risk, estimating the resources needed to complete the work, organizing the work, obtaining human and material resources, assigning tasks, directing activities, controlling project execution, reporting progress, and analyzing the results are all part of project management activities. So there are 5 main factors that project management for information systems must consider. These are scope, time, cost, quality, and risk. First, the scope of a project determines what work is and is not included. For instance, the scope of a project for a new order processing system might not involve any changes to the corresponding accounts receivable, manufacturing, distribution, or inventory management systems, but rather new modules for entering orders and sending them to production and accounting. Project management should ensure that the scope of a project does not change from what was initially intended and should identify all the work necessary to execute a project successfully. The second is time. Time is the length necessary to finish the project. The time needed to finish the main parts of a project is often determined by project management. Each of these elements is further divided into tasks and activities. The goal of project management is to estimate the time needed to finish each activity and provide a schedule for doing so. Number 3 is cost. The cost is calculated by multiplying the time needed to finish a project by the price of the human resources needed to complete the project. The price of workspace, software, and hardware are all included in the cost of information systems project. The project's budget is created by project management, and ongoing project costs are tracked. Number 4 is quality. It is a measure of how well a project's final product meets the goals set forth by the management. The effectiveness of information systems initiatives is typically measured by how well they facilitate decision-making and organizational performance. Additionally, the new system's correctness, timeliness, and usability are taken into account when determining quality. And lastly, risk. Risk is described as potential issues that could jeopardize a project's success by raising time and expense, diminishing the quality of a project outputs, or preventing the project from being completed entirely. These possible issues may prohibit a project from reaching its goals. So selecting projects. Business are usually given a wide range of tasks to do in order to solve problems and improve performance. System initiatives have a lot more ideas than they have means to carry out. From this group, businesses must select the initiatives with the highest likelihood of success. Clearly, the selection of a project should be determined by the company's overall business strategy. How should managers choose between the options available? The components of management structure for information systems project at a sizable corporation are shown in Table 14.2, which is the next slide. It makes sure that the most crucial projects get the attention they need. So this is the table. It's management control of systems project. As you can see, the corporate strategy planning group and the information systems steering committee are at the top of this organization. The corporate strategic planning team is in charge of creating the company's strategy plan, which can necessitate creating new processes. This group frequently chooses to sponsor IT projects that can significantly improve one or more key indicators because they have devised objective measures or firm performance. The company's board of directors examines and discusses these performance indicators. The senior management team is in charge of the system development, and maintenance is the information systems steering committee. It is made up of department heads from the information system and end user divisions. The steering committee evaluates and approves plans for systems in every division. So it works to coordinate and integrate systems, and on occasion takes part in the decision-making process for picking systems initiatives. The key performance indicators chosen by the board of directors and senior managers are likewise well known to this group. The project team is managed by a project management team made up of end user managers and information system managers who are in charge of managing a number of distinct information systems projects, and the individual systems project is wholly under the direct control of the project team. It consists of application programmers, systems analysts, experts from the relevant end user, business domains, and sometimes database specialists. The precise characteristics of the system solution determine the project team size and skill mix. Linking systems projects to the business plan. So organizations must create information systems plan that supports their entire business plan and incorporates strategic systems into top-level planning in order to identify the information systems projects that will provide the greatest commercial value. The plan serves as a guide for developing the system by outlining the rationale, current system, and situational analysis, new developments to be considered, management strategy, implementation plan, and budget. The strategy outlines the organizational objectives and how information technology will help those objectives be achieved. The study shows how certain system efforts will be used to reach larger goals. It gives exact target dates and milestones that can be used later to figure out how successful the plan was by looking at how many goals were actually reached in the time frame given in the plan. So the information requirements and key performance indicators. For the company to make a good plan for its information systems, it must have a clear idea of both its short-term and long-term information needs. A strategic method of information needs strategic analysis or critical success factors is that an organization's information needs are based on a small number of managers' key performance indicators or KPI. KPIs are affected by the business, the manager, and the society as a whole. For an automaker example, KPIs can include labor costs, manufacturing efficiency, the number of mistakes in rework, loss of customer brand recognition, employee work satisfaction scores, and power quality rankings. The main goal of new information systems should give the business data that helps it reach the goals that key performance indicators suggest. Portfolio analysis. Portfolio analysis can be used to assess different systems projects after strategic assessments have established the general direction of systems development. As part of the portfolio analysis, the company makes a list of its information, systems projects, assets, infrastructure, outsourcing deals, and licenses. The risks and rewards of the company's information systems investment portfolio are similar to those of a financial portfolio. So every information systems project has its own set of pros and cons that makes it special. So businesses would try to increase the return on their IT asset portfolios by balancing the risk and return of their system investments. There isn't a perfect profile for every company, but information-intensive companies like finance should have a few high-risk, high-reward projects to stay on the cutting edge of technology. Businesses in non-information-intensive sectors should concentrate on high-profit, low-risk initiatives. So solutions with a high value and low risk are, of course, the best ones. These have low risks and pay off quickly. Second, it's important to look into high benefit, high risk systems, avoid low benefit, high risk systems at all costs, and re-examine low benefit and low risk system to see if they can be rebuilt and replaced with higher benefit systems. Using portfolio analysis, management can find the right balance between high risk, high return projects and low risk, low return projects to get the best mix of investment risk and return for their businesses. Businesses that use portfolio analysis as part of their business strategy have been found to get more out of their IT assets, better align their IT investments with their business goals, and better coordinate their IT investment across the whole company. So scoring models. And there are a lot of things to think about when picking a project. A scoring model can help. It gives each part of a system a weight before figuring out the weighted sums. The company has to decide between two different enterprise resource planning or ERP solutions. Even if it helps the company reach its business goals and meet users' information needs, a system project must be a good investment for the company. From a financial point of view, the value of a system is based on its return on spent capital. So the decision makers' rating criteria are shown. This is the example of a scoring model for an ERP system. So the decision makers' rating criteria are shown in the first column of the scoring model. The group that makes decisions usually has long talks to figure out these factors. When using a scoring model, the criteria for judging are often more important than the number itself. As the table shows, this company puts the most weight on its ability to carry out sales orders and keep track of inventory and warehouse room. In the second column, you can see how much weight the decision makers gave to each of the factors. In columns 3 and 5, you can see how much of each function's needs can be met by each alternative business resource planning system. The score for each vendor is the percentage of standards that were met for each function times the weight for that function. Overall, the ERP system B has the best score. In order to use the score model, you have to make several qualitative decisions, which is true of all objective methods. For this plan, you need experts who understand both the problems and the technology. Establishing the business value of information systems. A system project must be a wise investment for the company even if it advances the strategic objectives of the company and satisfies user information needs. The question of return on invested capital profoundly determines the financial value of systems. Thus, a particular information system investment generates sufficient returns to cover its expenses. So this is the information system cost and benefits table. This table shows some of the most common prices and benefits of systems. Real benefits can be measured and given a value. Even though they can't be counted right away, intangible benefits like better decision making or better customer service could lead to measurable results in the long run. Whenever possible, management information systems, decision support systems, and computer-supported collaborative work systems are outperformed by transaction and clerical systems, which eliminate work and free up room while also producing more measurable and noticeable benefits. So, capital budgeting for information systems. In order to estimate the benefits of a project, you must first compute all of its costs and then examine all of its positive aspects. If a project is going to incur more costs than it will bring in revenue, then it should be abandoned. Even if the benefits are bigger than the cost, more financial research is still needed to figure out if the project is a good use of the company's capital. Capital planning models are one way to figure out how much it's worth to put money into long-term projects that need capital investments. So that would be my last slide. Ms. Katrina is next. Thank you.